This is Arkies in the Beltway, your look at national politics and the Arkansans influencing the discussions. I'm Alex Thomas, Washington correspondent for the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, reporting from the nation's capital. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Arkies in the Beltway for the week of May 4th, 2025. If you have yet to tire from hearing the word reconciliation, well, don't worry. There will be plenty of mentions for the foreseeable future. That's because the Senate and House of Representatives resumed work on Capitol Hill last week, and House committees did not waste time in considering their portions of the upcoming spending package. Congressional Republicans hoping to combine actions reducing the federal deficit with an extension of the 2017 tax law. Those tax breaks are set to expire at year's end. One committee with a completed markup of its portion of the package, the House Financial Services Committee, whose section addresses a $1 billion reduction to the deficit, which will occur over the next 10 years. Representative French Hill of Little Rock serves as the committee's chair.
For as long as I can remember, members of Congress have talked about managing the nation's fiscal situation so that they could pass off a healthy nation to their children and grandchildren. Well, I've got some bad news. The kids grew up, and they are us.
The House Financial Services Committee approved its portion of the spending package last Wednesday in a vote along party lines, Republicans in favor of the section. The spending reductions include cutting the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau's budget by nearly 70% from current levels. The CFPB was created in the wake of the 2008 financial crisis, but conservatives have gone after the independent agency over its regulatory actions. Donald Trump's administration made the CFPB one of its first targets, resulting in the agency suspending services and raising questions about its future. Illinois Democrat Sean Casten said during Wednesday's markup, the reconciliation process is a front for Republicans to extend tax cuts for the wealthiest Americans at the expense of government services.
The dutiful soldiers are marching forward to cut the things in this that are subject to the jurisdiction of this committee, but no reasonable person would suggest that simply cutting government funding grows wealth. No reasonable person would suggest that cutting revenue does not reduce wealth.
The Senate and House have different targets when it comes to proposed deficit reductions. Senate Majority Leader John Thune has promised House Republicans that senators will strive to reach the House's goal of $1.5 trillion. Also on the House side of the Capitol, the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee approved its proposal last Wednesday to reduce the deficit by $10 billion. Representatives Rick Crawford of Jonesboro and Bruce Westerman of Hot Springs serve on that committee. Westerman will lead the House Natural Resources Committee on a markup of its section this Tuesday. Westerman hopes to reduce the deficit by $1 billion, largely through energy projects. The effects of the White House's current efforts to shrink the federal government are being felt in the natural state. Disability Rights Arkansas is a statewide organization providing advocacy and litigation services to Arkansans with disabilities. Yet it has stopped accepting new cases because federal dollars have yet to be delivered. Executive Director Tom Massaw says Disability Rights Arkansas plans to continue supporting current clients, but the organization's future is uncertain.
Looking at where we are as an organization, we can't sustain operations past May 31st. We have an ethical responsibility to our clients when we form legal representation agreements that, we have to wrap up a case within 30 days. If we have a case that goes longer than May 31st, we will not have a way to appropriately represent that individual.
3 federal agencies support Disability Rights Arkansas: the Department of Health and Human Services, the Department of Education, and the Social Security Administration. The support comes in the form of federal grants, with the organization's budget reaching $2 million. The Department of Health and Human Services and the Department of Education were supposed to issue more than $730,000 to Disability Rights Arkansas after Congress approved a continuing resolution in March. Yet Massaw says that this delivery has yet to happen, with agencies under scrutiny thanks to the Department of Government Efficiency.
They are prepared to release the money as soon as they get it.
Massaw additionally cites employment issues within the Department of Health and Human Services as another factor. As the Trump administration has sought to downsize the federal government, federal workers have been let go. This includes those workers who interact most with Disability Rights Arkansas.
So the people who actually process these funds are no longer there.
Neither the Department of Health and Human Services nor the Department of Education were willing to provide the Democrat-Gazette with on-the-record responses regarding the future of Disability Rights Arkansas. Massall says he has reached out to the state's congressional delegation, hoping for help.
The response that I got, they want to help, and they don't know, anything more than what we do.
Massall spent part of last week providing lawmakers with further information regarding federal support and the organization's finances. Arkansas investment banker Warren Stevens is one of the newest U.S. ambassadors. The Senate last Tuesday confirmed Stevens as the new ambassador to the United Kingdom. 6 Democrats joined Senate Republicans in supporting Stevens, the longtime leader of his family's investment firm, Stevens Incorporated. Senator Tom Cotton of Little Rock spoke highly of Stevens before the vote.
I've had the privilege to know Warren and his family for a long time. And I can tell you that Warren has always wanted to serve his country. After decades of serving others in our Arkansas community, Warren now has answered the call to serve our country as the next United States ambassador to the United Kingdom.
Stevens has been a supporter of local causes in Central Arkansas, as well as conservative political efforts. He provided $2 million to a super PAC supporting Trump in the months before last November's election. Stevens also donated $4 million to the Trump Inauguration Committee on December 2nd, the same day Trump named Stevens as an ambassador. Stevens joins former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee as some of the newest ambassadors representing the United States. Huckabee recently started his services as ambassador to Israel. And that'll do it for this edition of Arkies in the Beltway for the week of May 4th, 2025. You can stay up to date with all news involving Arkansas at arkansasonline.com. Special thanks, as always, to the team down in Little Rock. I'm Alex Thomas, and this has been Arkies in the Beltway. Thanks for listening.